Let us see the next question. XY Limited is engaged in large retail business in India. It is contemplating for expansion into the country of Africa by acquiring a group of the stores having the same line of the operation as that of India. So it is a kind of geographical, like the expansion of the business, wherein we want an inorganic growth. So we are going to acquire, say, one company which is doing similar business as we do. Exchange rates for the currency of proposed African country is extremely volatile, so it keeps on fluctuating like anything. Rate of inflation is presently 40% a year. Inflation rate in India is currently 10%. So the inflation rate is provided for the foreign currency, that is for African currency, and for us also. Management of XY Limited expects these rates are likely to continue for the foreseeable future, and this line is not required to be given. Unless we have been provided that say we are expecting any change, we never assume that. Estimated projected cash flows in the real terms in India as well as in African country for the first 3 years of the project are as follows. So importantly friends, over here the cash flows are provided in the real term, means without adjusting the inflation they have provided the cash flows. We have studied the real term and the nominal term. Nominal term means inflation adjusted, and the real term means inflation is not adjusted. Year 0 is always in the real term. First year to third year, cash flows in the Indian currency term is given, as well as in South African currency is also provided to us. Because maybe certain operations is handled from India, so we are having say the cash outflow in India, and of course the business that we are going to do over there will have the inflow. Year 0, so this is the investment which we are required to make. This is the investment. XY Limited assumes that year 3 nominal cash flow will continue to be earned each year for indefinite time period. So end of year 4 onwards for perpetuity the amount of the cash flow will be same, and that is the third year cash flow. It evaluates all investments using nominal cash flows and the nominal rupee discounting rate. So language of the question is clearly providing that it evaluates all the projects in the nominal term, and say they use the nominal discounting rate. The present exchange rate is 6 South African currency for every 1 rupee of the domestic currency. You are required to calculate the NPV of the proposed project, that is proposed investment, considering the following. First, South African currency cash flows are converted into rupees and discounted at a risk adjusted discounting rate. Means clearly it has been provided over here that you have to adopt home currency approach for calculation of answer. All cash flows for these projects will be discounted at the rate of 20% to reflect its high risk. So the discounting rate is 20%. Ignore taxes, fine. First year to third year, discounting factors information have been given to us. This is the way the information is provided to us for the purpose of decision making. Please go through the question, all of you. So friends, over here we don't have a choice but to adopt the risk, that is home currency approach for the purpose of NPV calculation. Let us see that how we will make the calculation of answer. Everybody is requested to pay attention. The sequence in which we will do answer will be something like this. Step number 1, let me explain that to you first of all. Calculation of forward exchange rate as per purchasing power parity theorem. Why? Because the inflation rate is provided to us for both the currencies. Step number 2. In that, friends, over here, as per the given information, importantly, we are required to make the computation of the nominal cash flows. So, calculation of nominal cash flows. We understand that so the nominal cash flows will be calculated in the South African currency. So, it is South African currency. In that, so we will compute the nominal cash flow. Because it is provided in the real term, so it has to be converted into nominal term. Step number 3 is conversion of South African currency into rupees, that is in the domestic currency. For that, say we will form an equation, maybe division or maybe multiplication. Step number 4, calculation of net cash flow in rupees term, that is in nominal term. This will be calculated from year 1 to year 3, that is say for the first 3 years. Then this time there will be a new working for us. That is what we are going to do in step number 5, NPV calculation. So before we make the computation of NPV, we will have calculation of P3. What do we understand with the term P3? It is end of year 4 onwards for perpetuity. Whatever you are going to receive, all of them will be discounted to the third year end. And that is what we understand is technically given a name as P3. That will be useful for the purpose of making calculation of NPV. This is the sequence in which we are going to do answer. So let us start calculating the answer. That will give us better idea. So step number 1, calculation of forward exchange rate as per purchasing power parity theorem. It is South African currency per a rupee. That is what we have to do, friends. So over here, first year, second year and third year. First year, second year and third year. We understand that so the forward exchange rate is equal to spot into 1 plus inflation for left hand side currency, that is South African currency, divided by 1 plus rate of interest, 1 plus inflation rate for a rupee currency. That is what we have to do. The spot exchange rate is provided to us as 6. Inflation rate for South African currency is given as 40%, and for rupee currency it has been given as 10%. For the second year it is 6 into 1.40 raised to 2. That is converted, that is say we make an assumption that the inflation rate is on annually compounded basis, divided by 1.10 raised to 2. For the third year, similar working, 6 into 1.40 raised to 3 divided by 1.10 raised to 3. So over here the answer is, first year it is 7.6364, second year 9.7190, third year it is 12.86 3696. That is the way the forward exchange rate will be found from year 1 to year 3. Step number 2. In that, calculation of the nominal cash flow of South African currency. Dear students, over here, in the second step, we have to do working something like this. We have studied a formula in this way. 1 plus nominal is equal to 1 plus real into 1 plus inflation. This is what's the kind of formula that we have studied. So we understand that the nominal cash flow is equal to real cash flow, friends, into 1 plus inflation raised to n. That is the way it will be converted into nominal term. Friends, over here, language of the question is providing very clearly that all cash flows for the project will be discounted at the rate of 20%. And the cash flows have been provided in the real term. So what happens at this real term cash flows will be converted first of all into nominal term. Once you compute that into the nominal term, we will be able to convert that into domestic currency for the purpose of making calculation of NPV. So what will happen, friends, over here? First year, second year and third year. Nominal cash flow in South African currency term, we understand that it is 50,000 into 1.40, because 50,000 which is provided to us is in the current purchasing power term, so it is required to be converted into nominal term. Inflation adjusted, 70,000 into 1.40 raised to 2, and then it is 90,000 into 1.4 raised to 3. This is the way we are required to make the computation of the nominal cash flow. So 50,000 into 1.4 is 70,000 for the first year. Then square of 1.4 into 70,000, 137,200. Then 1.4 raised to 3 into 90,000, 246,960. So this is in the nominal term. Now friends, we have done a very basic, the basic question in which we had understood this formula. 1 plus n stands for the nominal cash flow is equal to 1 plus r, that is the real cash flow, into 1 plus inflation rate. I give you a small example. I think that will help you to understand the thing. Suppose end of year 1, end of year 2, end of year 3, we are expecting to sell 100 units of a product, 200 units of a product and 300 units of a product. Taking into account the current price, selling price of the product is, let us say, rupees 10. Then in that case, in technical language, it is said that sales value in real term stands for, without taking into account inflation, is 1,000, 2,000 and 3,000. And let us assume that the inflation rate is 10%. So sales value in the nominal term is 1100. Then 2420 and 3993. That is the nominal sales value. So now basically what happens that this selling price of 10 friends will become 11 at the end of the first year. Okay. 12.1 at the end of the second year. Fine. And 13.1 at the end of the third year. So selling this 100 units at the rate of 11 is 1100. And that 1100 is found by me directly as 1000, that is real sales value into 1.10 raised to 1. This 200 number of units have been sold at the rate of 12.1. Then it comes to 2420, which I have found directly as real sales into 1.10 raised to 2. That is the way it comes to 2420. For the third year, it is like this once again. This 3000 number of units, 300 number of units have been sold at 13.1. So it is 39. So this is 13.31. 300 into 13.31. So it is 3993, which I have found directly as real sales value 3000 into 1.10 raised to 3. This is the way I have calculated it. Now friends, the third step is again a very simple step which I insist personally, that is conversion of the South African currency into domestic currency. So please write down answer along with me. Step number 3, conversion of South African currency into rupees. So it is 70,000 South African currency rupee. Exchange rate is 6 South African currency for every 1 rupee. So for 70,000 South African rupees is equal to this amount of rupees. So the answer is going to be 70,000 into 1, that does not make a sense, divided by 6. So the cash flow in South African currency divided by exchange rate. This is the way we have a small formula for conversion of the foreign currency into domestic currency. Now step number 4, in my opinion, it is very important. Calculation of the cash flows in the nominal term. Let us see that's how we can make the calculation. Step number 4, calculation of net cash flow in nominal term in rupees term. Let us see that's how to make the calculation. It is year 0, year 1, year 2 and year 3. First of all, let me explain to you. Do not write anything. I am writing over here nominal cash flow in South African currency. Okay. Year 0 cash flow is going to remain same, friends, 2 lakhs. First year end cash flow is 70,000 in nominal term. Second year it is 137,200 again in nominal term. And third year it is 246,916 in nominal term. which we already have calculated above. Now exchange rate, South African currency per rupee. Spot exchange rate is 6 and so on. Now what we will do, the foreign currency cash flow divided by this exchange rate will give the cash flow in a rupees term. Year 0 there will be outflow, and for the first 3 years we will be having cash inflow. Further, we will show over here cash flow in rupees term. In domestic, that is over here also to keep like certain administration work over here, we are supposed to incur certain expenses over here. And again it is provided that it is in the real term, there is no ambiguity in the question. So what will happen? This will be 50,000 cash outflow. That is in the year 0. Fine. Then end of year 1 it will be cash outflow of 1500 into 1.10, that is 1650. Second year it will be 2000 into 1.10 raised to 2, so it is 2420 outflow. And for the third year it is again 2500 into 1.10 raised to 3, so it is 3327.5 is outflow. This is in nominal term, yes. This is in nominal term, yes. So we can add both of them, and that is the way we'll compute the net cash flow in rupees term, which is in nominal term year 0 to year 3. In the last step, what happens that we have to prepare an important working note called P3, and then NPV will be calculated. Please take down answer. So friends, end of year 1 exchange rate is 7.6364. End of year 2 it is 9.7190. Third year it is 12.3696. These are the exchange rate. Cash flows in the rupees term will be 2 lakh upon 6. 33,333 outflow. $70,000 upon 7.6364. 9167 inflow. 137,200 divided by 9.7190, so 14,167, sorry 117. 2,46,916 upon 12.3696, 19,965. So net cash flow, it is 83,333. End of year 1 it will be 9167 minus 1650, 7517. 14,117 minus 2420, 11,697. 19,965 minus 3327.5, So 16,638. Now the last step would be the NPV calculation. Step number 5, calculation of NPV. In that, friends, working note number 1, calculation of P3. P3 will be calculated as cash flow for the fourth year divided by cost of capital. Now fourth year and onwards for perpetuity, you are going to receive this amount, 16,638. So this amount which you are going to receive from end of year 4 onwards for perpetuity will be discounted to third year end. Language of the question speaks like this. Assuming that year 3 nominal cash flow, very good clarity is provided by them. Year 3 nominal cash flow continue to be earned each year for indefinite time period. So divided by 0.20. So 16638 upon 0.2. So it is 83,190. This is year 3 end. That is the way we are required to compute P3. And then calculation of NPV. So what will happen in NPV calculation, friends? First year cash inflow will be 7517. Second year 11,697. Third year 16,638 plus 83,190. That is the way the third year cash flow will be found. Third year cash flow will include the third year cash flow itself, and fourth year onwards for perpetuity, whatever you are going to receive, all of them will be discounted to the third year end. This is the way we'll make the computation of the cash flow, which will be discounted at the rate of 20%, and we will compute the present value. From present value of the cash inflow, investment is deducted for NPV calculation. This is the way NPV will be found. Okay. Now first year cash flow is 7517. Second year 11,697. Third year 16,638. Plus 83,190. Total of both of them is the third year cash flow. So 16638 plus 83,190 is 99,828. For 20% discounting factors, information is given. Just 2 minutes, I am explaining this P3 value. This value is what we discuss more in detail when we study our very simple chapter, security analysis, security valuation. Basically what happens at, say, it is year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3. Over here the question is providing that, say, the life of the business is perpetuity. So fourth year onwards for infinite period, whatever amount of the cash flow which you are going to receive, all of them have been discounted to third year end, and that is what we understand is P3. End of year 4 onwards for perpetuity, whatever you are going to receive, all of them have been discounted to third year end, and that is what we understand is P3, and which is later on discounted once again to year 0 for NPV calculation. Now discounting of the cash flows. For that, say, importantly, the factors have been given to us. Remember that whenever the factors are provided to us in the example, you cannot have your own discounting factors to be used. So these are the factors. So first year it is 833. Second year it is 694. Third year it is 579. 7517 into 0.833. So 6261.66. 11,697 into 0.694. 8,117.72. 99,828 into 0.579. 57,800.41. So that is the way we'll compute the present value of the cash inflow. 72,179.79 less investment. It is 83,333. Difference of them is NPV, and unfortunately the NPV is negative. 11,153.21. So we understand that as NPV is negative, the project should not be accepted. So please write down answer. Do not accept the project. This is the way we are required to take the decision. Now a summary of the entire answer. First of all, we have computed the forward exchange rate because the question is providing very clearly that you have to adopt the home currency approach for calculation of answer. Then calculation of the nominal cash flow in South African currency. Now friends, of course you can understand that you may skip this step and you may incorporate the same while doing the step number 4. That is also permissible. This step is only on a safer side that I suggest you for the conversion. Step number 4 is the most important, wherein real cash flows of the foreign currency is converted into nominal cash flow, and then nominal cash flow of the foreign currency is converted into domestic currency using the exchange rate that we have found as per I, that is BBD. Then rupee currency cash flow is added to it. Again, importantly, we are required to convert that into the nominal term using 10% inflation rate of the rupee currency. So step number 4 is very important in my opinion. Step number 5 is very simple NPV calculation, and importantly we are required to find a new working over here P3, that is end of year 4 onwards for perpetuity whatever you are going to receive, all of them are discounted to year 3 end. And of course later on it is discounted to year 0. This is the way we have made the calculation of the answer of the NPV over here. So this is the way NPV is found, and NPV is negative, so the project should not be accepted.